The Mortal Kombat 30th anniversary cabinet is available for pre-order, and the price is not terrible.
Bog Panda.
Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on everything. Joining me, as always.
Hi, everybody. This is Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram. If you have a moment, please check out a few of our videos. Maybe subscribe to our channel. Give a couple of the videos a like, a comment or two. We really love to hear from you folks. And while you're meandering around, maybe check the video descriptions or our website and take a peek at the fine Bog Panda t-shirt merchandise. So
Whatever it is.
yeah.
Wear those t-shirts.
Yeah, buy a shirt.
Speaking of subscribing, my nephew recently subscribed to Bog Panda after coming across it on YouTube. And he wanted you to know that you can thank him in person when he meets you for subscribing, because whatever video he was watching, I'm not even sure. I hope not Scooby-Doo, but whatever video he was watching, you said you would really appreciate it if people liked and subscribed. So he subscribed, and he's like, he's obviously going to want to thank me, so he can thank me in person.
I'm on it. We will do that. Yeah, I hope it wasn't the Scooby-Doo episode too.
I didn't even think about it until afterwards. I was like, oh, that's nice. And I was like, I wonder what one he watched. Too late now. But tonight, we are here to talk about Mortal Kombat, something else that's kind of becoming near and dear to his heart because he saw the original 90s movie recently. So he's played Mortal Kombat. Obviously, we have the cabinet here, but he just wasn't familiar with the characters or anything. So it was just a fighting game, a cool looking fighting game to him. But now he's more excited about it because he has some backstory and frame of reference for the characters now. So he's more excited about it, and he couldn't wait to tell me about it. And I was like, great, because we're getting rid of the Mortal Kombat cabinet. He's like, wait, what? No, we can't do that. And I was like, well, they're releasing a 30th anniversary edition of that. And then he stopped and thought about it. He's like, that game is that old? It's like, yeah, I was your age when it came out. Because I'm old. Yeah. So old. So this is kind of an update on the Legacy cabinet. Looks like it improves it in just about every way, though, over the original Legacy cabinet. I was excited when Arcade1Up announced the Legacy cabinets initially. Then it looked like there were some serious design issues with it. I never actually personally played one, but it had this weird lip that stuck out over the joystick panel that instantly everybody complained about being uncomfortable, and I can absolutely see that. Even just looking at the pictures, it didn't look like a good idea. Apparently, there was also an issue with the tilt angle of the screen, where the screen wasn't exactly straight up, but it wasn't tilted enough to where you didn't get good viewing angles and things like that. So it just seemed like there were some weird design issues with it, which is a shame because it had a great game selection. So this carries over that game selection, adds another game, which is Mortal Kombat 3. So the original Mortal Kombat cabinet, which I have, and the Legacy cabinet included 1, 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat, which is a fixed up version of 3. 3 was kind of infamously rushed out with some big chunks of the game just kind of not finished. And it shows when you play it, but it also has some stuff that's missing from Ultimate because they couldn't quite get it right. So they just cut it out. So now you get all the games from the Legacy plus Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, and Ultimate in there. And most importantly, this is the first Mortal Kombat arcade cabinet that does have online play for the Mortal Kombat games. So you're getting those 4 games, the online play, way better designed cabinet, modeled after the original game for the 30th anniversary. However, it is missing Daniel Pesina's image on the side of the cabinet, which the original ones had. Apparently, there was issues with him shortly after the game came out, which is why he was replaced. In later ones, the Mortal Kombat games, or at least before they made the jump to 3D, used digitized versions of actors to give it a more realistic look. And they used an actor named Daniel Pesina to play Johnny Cage, as well as a few other characters. But he's best known for playing Johnny Cage. And there were some issues, some likeness issues. So Johnny Cage switched looks after the first game, and that's why. So he is not on the cabinet, but otherwise it's modeled after the original Mortal Kombat cabinet, and it has that whole slew of classic Midway games on there, like Gauntlet and Paperboy and Rampage and all those. So 14
and
games total.
Joust
And Joust, yeah,
and Defender.
Defender. There's a lot of good stuff on there.
Two of my tops right there.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff on there. What were your thoughts looking at this cabinet, sir? And then we'll get into the price point.
So yeah, because we'll need to, because it kind of, as I looked at the cabinet, the laying the price up against it, definitely changed my point of view a little bit on it, to the positive. Definitely. And so we've talked before. I like Mortal Kombat. I'm not a huge fighting game guy, but if I am doing those things like Mortal Kombat, or it's the gold standard, it's really good stuff to do. Then the other Midway classics, I mean, you throw in this murderer's row of fun games, Tapper, Paperboy, and then like we've talked before, I'm a big Joust guy, and a big Defender guy. I haven't really talked much about it, but I have always enjoyed Defender as well. And so it's and it's on a riser. I think it is a little bit upsized, right? Is like what they do with most of the
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to have a little bit of room. The online play is huge. I think that's a tremendous addition. So
that is online play and online leaderboards, because apparently some of the online cabinets have one or the other.
Oh,
which I was not aware of, but this is both, because they made it a point to state that in the information.
You poke that hole through to get to the internet,
right? Why would you not have both? Yeah,
but. I guess not, but this one does, so that's very cool. So I've got a Legends Ultimate. We've talked about that a lot before, so I'm really kind of covered with Coin-Ops X in terms of all of that. I am not building out an arcade, unlike the other host of the show. So I don't have a need for like lots of them, but I do have room for a second one. I could put another system by there, and this one's very tempting for the reason you're about to talk about.
Yeah. So one of the big question marks about this is, what's the price point going to be? As we've all seen, the home arcade market get bigger and bigger, but as shipping issues become a bigger and bigger factor in that, the prices have crept up. So the initial Arcade1Up cabinets were in the $300 range. Those started to move up to $400 and $500. Now there are cabinets coming out for $700 and $800. Same thing with that games. Their initial runs were what, $500?
So yeah, it bounced around a little bit. The Legends kind of clocked in around $700, $800.
Okay. And we'll get to some other at game stuff later.
Yes.
But yeah, prices are moving up on things. So even though there was Arcade1Up has a bad history of leaks with things, you could argue that maybe they're doing it to create buzz around things, but they actually lost a license over it at one point. So I don't think that's always the case. But there was a leaked price of $499 for this cabinet. But a lot of people online, if you watched any of the sort of talking head videos like we do about retro gaming, a lot of people were skeptical of that price. Most people thought this was going to be $600 or even $700. So I was very, very happy when the pre-orders went up at $499, and I put my pre-order in right away.
Did you get a date?
So I believe it just says it begins shipping in July.
Okay.
Yeah. So if they stick to that, that's not too bad.
Clock's continuing to tick on my Amiga 500 Mini. Getting closer. We'll see. But, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's that for what you get there. It's a pretty good price point. I mean, be a better price point if it was $399.
Well,
be preferred, but in today's world, in today's market, when you have to take a loan out to fill your tank of gas up now, it's not a bad price at all. And with all the Arcade1Up stuff, the The controllers are solid. You're getting good quality controllers there, not cheap stuff on that. And
this actually has I don't know if you noticed in the pictures, this has the angled control deck on there.
I did notice that.
Yeah.
I think, and again, we offer all this free advice to Ad Games and Arcade1Up, and I'm sure they listen closely and adjust to all their things. They never reciprocate and like send us stuff to test out. So you guys need to get on the stick. But I don't know why one of these guys haven't figured out to say the smart money is for both the monitor and also the control deck, to make those bad boys adjustable. Let somebody pick the angle that they're most comfortable with, because of different heights, different setups. Maybe we're playing sitting down and all that. Give them like about 3 settings of angle that they can kind of choose from, because that would really let people tune it into whatever they wanted to do. You got to make sure it stays sturdy. If it's adjustable, you still got to make sure when it locks in. Because the last thing you want is your monitor swinging like a door or something like that. But I still think that would be good. And so, free advice, home arcade makers, go ahead and do that for us. That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely do think that would be interesting. I think maybe we're moving towards that a little bit, because of course we have the Legends Mini where you can rotate the monitor. And then there is something which I think we'll talk about in a future episode, that TV stand that came out, which allows you to turn the monitor in all different kinds of crazy ways, depending on how you want it set up for your retro gaming needs. So I do think we're moving towards something like that, but especially with, like you're saying about moving the control deck like that, it seems like such an obvious thing. I can't believe they haven't done, even to just go from it being sort of straight and flush to a little bit angled. Like even just one option like that, I think would be such a huge game changer, because like you said, there's so many you have different heights. Some people prefer to sit down, some people prefer to stand, all that kind of stuff. So like that was one of the complaints that people had with the initial run of the legacy cabinets. Because of the angle of the monitor and the larger marquee that was on it, they were saying that taller people, that viewing angle was just terrible unless you were sitting and playing it.
Yeah. And the I don't know how much mowing you do. they have solved this problem with the back wheels of a mower. It's the mechanics to actually be able to kind of do it to 3 or 4 levels. It's a pretty straightforward thing and pretty sturdy. You could do it. It's possible. This is not a new engineering problem. But
I would think lawnmowers get a little more heavy duty wear and tear than an arcade cabinet is.
Yeah. So you would think kind of go with the flow on that and kind of approach, and you're good to go. So we'll have to see. But yeah, it's exciting. It's kind of cool to see. I think they've done a great job in terms of, I mean, Midway has this embarrassment of riches of pretty cool games to say, hey, you got Mortal Kombat, multiple versions of that. So that in and of itself is enough. But then it's like, oh, let's just throw in, 8 more classics for you. And you just, it'd be a great system. So I would like to do that. I guess the downside, and it's the downside for me on Paperboy, on the Legends, it's still pretty good playability. And Legends, the Legends Ultimate's awesome because you got the spinner, you got the trackball joystick, so you can kind of do some configurations of similar. But there are certain games with the more dedicated controller, and these obviously the controllers are configured for Mortal Kombat, that makes it a little different from there. But still, these are good games and on a good cabinet, so it's something to look at.
Yeah, it's a great selection of games. I really think that can't be understated. The cabinet looks great. It looks like they fixed all of the problems and gone above and beyond with the online play. I mean, there's really not much more you could ask for, especially at that price point. They have been talking about, so Arcade1Up is going to be doing what they're calling a Pro line, which is basically full-size cabinets that they're going to be coming out with, which obviously are going to have a much higher price point, and there will be a Mortal Kombat version of that. I think this is the one that I need, though. I'm not even thinking about the Pro line because, again, full size doesn't exactly fit what I'm doing. I'm trying to fit, a whole arcade experience into one room. So that's going to be a much smaller arcade experience if they're full size cabinets. So this 3/4 cabinet thing is really working out for me. So sticking with this, lineup of games is just great. And of course, you can hack all of these and add as many games as you want. But honestly, it's a great selection of games. So there's really nothing to complain about there.
Oh, super solid.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to playing online.
Yep. Yeah. We really didn't talk much about it, but yeah, that's huge too. So that'll be extended. That's going to be, but is your universe of who you can play online with? It's going to be other people with this cabinet, right?
To the best of my knowledge, yeah, you would have to have this cabinet.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we get a kind of a cross-platform thing going, but I don't think that's going to happen. So,
probably not. No,
I don't think they're too cozy with each other. So, oh well, cool. Well, hey, let us know in the comments what you think. Is this something that's catching your eye? Are you interested in it? I don't know how you improve on the game selection, really, in terms of just obviously. The headlines Mortal Kombat, but a lot of other good stuff as well. But be interested in hearing your guys' thoughts. How interested are you? Have you tried to bump Mike out of the pre-order line, move him a little deeper down so he's going to have to wait? Let us know.
Well, unless you have anything else there, thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.